we have a dull day. It is rather dull. We've had rain, we have cloud, we have grey skies above us, but here in my little studio, everything is ever so nice. It's all lovely, despite the fact that I am under a lot of pressure at the moment. More about that in a moment from now. Here we are then, we are back together. This is English Addict coming to you live from the birthplace of English. You know where it is, we all know where it is. It is England. We are here again, it is Sunday. It is a nice day to join together and practice our English. Well, I suppose I don't actually have to practice when you think about it. because I'm teaching it. That would be very silly, wouldn't it, if I was learning English as well? Some people say that I am, or I appear to be. But I don't, because I am an English teacher, everyone. Hi, everybody. This is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you feeling happy today? I hope you are feeling good, because we are back together again. We are live on YouTube, very, very live. Anything can happen over the next 2 hours. Yes, you heard me correctly. 2 hours of English. If you want to create your own English environment, it is a great way of learning English. It is a good way of creating an environment for yourself where you can listen and learn the English language. That is the reason why we are here today. My name is Mr. Duncan. If you haven't already guessed, I talk about the English language. You might say that I am an English addict. It says on the screen all over the place. In fact, I am an English addict and I love English very much. I really do like it quite a lot. I mentioned a few moments ago about pressure. When I talk about pressure in this situation, I'm talking about maybe having a very short time in which to do something. Maybe you have lots of jobs, maybe lots of things you have to do in a short amount of time. You only have 1 hour, for example, to do lots and lots of things. That is pressure. It is giving you pressure. You feel under pressure. Under pressure. I'm under pressure. That is how I feel at the moment. I feel very much under pressure because I am trying to do so many things at the moment. I am making lots of new lessons. Have you noticed, by the way? I have been very busy doing that. I'm also doing this as well. Live streams, and I'm doing some other things as well that are not connected to this. For example, yesterday we went along to film a performance that was being put on by a group in this area, and they asked me personally. They asked me personally. They said, Mr. Duncan, we know that you are very good at filming and producing. Could you please come along and film our performance? So that's what I did yesterday. Hectic. It is a big job to actually carry out. If you are going to film a performance in a particular place, maybe the performance is being held on a stage, you have to make sure you have everything planned, and you have to make sure that you have all of the technical things arranged as well. Because if you don't, well, disaster will be what you have as a result, because you only get one chance. You only get one shot of doing that particular thing. So there is a lot of pressure involved. There is so much pressure involved in that thing. Today, I had to plan this, but I also realised that some of the equipment, some of the cameras and some of the things that I used yesterday were still in the bag. For example, this camera you are watching me on right now is one of the cameras I used yesterday. So I had to take everything out of the studio. And of course, when I put it back, it didn't quite work properly. So I've had technical things to sort out today. I've had lots and lots of other problems behind the scenes. I've also now got the pressure of editing all of the things I filmed yesterday as well. That will keep me busy for hours and hours. So when I talk about pressure, in that sense, we are talking about maybe a short amount of time that we have in which to do something. I would imagine in your life there must be lots of different types of pressure. And of course, when we talk about pressure, we talk about stress as well. It can be a very stressful thing if you're trying to do lots and lots of things in a short period of time. However, and this might sound strange to some people, I think sometimes being under pressure is a good thing. I know it sounds weird, I know it sounds strange, but sometimes having pressure, having a very short amount of time in which to do a certain task can actually be quite good for you, because it is a very good way of becoming motivated, to be motivated, to feel as if you have lots of energy to do something. So pressure on yourself can be a good thing in a certain way. Of course, as long as it isn't damaging, as long as it doesn't damage you. So I think you can have good pressure. You can have a little bit of stress that can help you perform better. That is just my feeling anyway. You might disagree. Of course, you have the chance to disagree with me. You have the opportunity to say what you think, because we have the live chat. The live chat is now very busy. Hello to everyone. I wonder who was first on today's live chat. I'm going to have a look right now. Oh, very interesting. We have an unusual affair taking place at the moment. Flower. Hello, Flower Espoir. You are first on today's live chat. Ooh. I can't believe it. I don't know where Vitas is, but Flower Espoir. Congratulations to you. You are first on today's live chat. We also have Beatrice. I know that Beatrice is not at the moment in the mountains. I know you are not there at the moment, because I think you have returned now to your home that is not in the mountains. Hello also to Mitra is here as well. Hello, Mitra. nice to see you here as well. Thank you very much for joining me on this Sunday. We have made it all the way to a new month, by the way. We are now in October, a very busy month for me. I have lots of things to do, lots of pressure. Because at the end of this month, I am celebrating my anniversary here on YouTube. 18 years. I was talking to Steve yesterday about this. 18 years on YouTube. At the end of this month, I will be celebrating that, and I hope you will be joining in as well. Ruhat is here. Hello, Ruhat. Nice to see you here as well. As my voice begins to disappear, which is nice when you think about it. It might be nice for you because maybe you just want to put your fingers in your ears so you can't hear me. Some people say that I sound better if you turn the volume off or even mute me. Why would you want to mute me? I don't know why. Claudia, hello Claudia, it's nice to see you back here as well. Also we have, he is here, Luis Mendez is here today. Hello Luis, it's nice to see you back with us as well. Christina is here. Hello Christina, it was very interesting talking to you the other night. You gave a very surprised Mr. Duncan a phone call. I was very surprised to hear it, to be honest. And so was Mr. Steve. I have to confess, when you called, I was watching television. I was lying down on the sofa, relaxed, watching some television. I'm very much into art at the moment. I'm watching a lot of documentaries on TV about different types of art. I think I explained that last Wednesday as well. Hello, also Irene. We also have Irene. Chihiro is here as well. Chihiro, hello to you. Where are you watching at the moment? I want to know. I am interested to find out where you are watching in the world. We also have Irene. Come on, Irene, it's time to say hello to you. Nicholas. Hello, Nicholas. Hello to you. I believe you are watching in France at the moment. Faribourz is here as well. We have so many people here today, and I know why you are here. You are not here to see me. I know you are not here to see me. You are here because of this person. Mr. Steve will be with us in around about 13, 14 minutes from now. Mr. Steve will be here. Today I will be asking Mr. Steve about the things that he has to do that he doesn't want to do, or maybe things that he has to do that he feels is a waste of time. Because this is something I talked about on Wednesday, last Wednesday, on the live stream, and Steve was rather disappointed because I didn't ask him the question. So I'm going to ask him the question today about things that he has to do that he thinks are pointless tasks. So that's what we're talking about later on with Mr. Steve. Things that are pointless. A little bit later on. Who else is here? Shruti is here. Hello, Shruti. I hope I pronounce your name correctly. I try my best. I really do try my best. Today, by the way, we are looking at musical instrument phrasal verbs. Slightly inspired. I was inspired by yesterday's performance that I filmed. Unfortunately, I can't show it here on YouTube for many, many reasons, but I would love to show it, but I can't, unfortunately. So we are looking at phrasal verbs in a few moments from now, connected to musical instruments. There are one or two that are quite popular in the English language. Also today we are looking at words, short words, beginning with the letters F and L. The first two letters of all of the words we will be focusing on begin with F and L. I would imagine that you will soon find some of your own. We are doing that a little bit later on as well. Claudia says, they say that dentists, or being a dentist, is one of the most professions, or one of the most stressful professions. A profession where there is a lot of pressure. I would imagine so. Can I just say, I would imagine being a dentist sometimes must be quite unpleasant. Now I know that lots of jobs have certain unpleasant things involved in them. But yes, I think so. We don't watch the clock very well. Also, the patience. This is what I mean, you see. This is what I mean when I said being a dentist must be unpleasant. Some of the patients do not clean their teeth. Maybe they don't take care of their teeth. So the dentist will have to look into their stinky, smelly, rotten mouth. So yes, I would imagine there will be a lot of moments where you feel pressure if you are a dentist. Giovanni is here. Mr. Duncan, are you cold in your studio because you are wearing a t-shirt? I am wearing my sweatshirt. So I would imagine at the moment, Giovanni, you are feeling quite cold. Fortunately, here in my studio, we have some lovely heating and we have some lights as well, which also produce a little bit of heat. So I have to say, quite often in here, normally when I'm doing my live streams, I do feel rather hot. It can get very warm here in the studio, normally around 30 degrees, especially when the heating is working and the lights are on and everything gets very, very hot under the collar. Hello to the live chat. It's very nice to have you here as well. Very Borts. Pressure is a good thing as long as it doesn't involve stress and anxiety. Yes, I think sometimes, especially in your work environment, there can be a lot of pressure from your boss, or maybe you have lots and lots of work that must be done. So that is a type of pressure. But I think sometimes pressure on yourself, a little bit of stress, can be good for you. Not too much, but sometimes it can serve as a very good way of becoming motivated, to motivate yourself. Sometimes you do need a little bit of pressure to keep you moving. Hello to Soviet. Hello, Soviet Porozinok. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Hello to you as well. Nico is here in Valencia. Hello, Nico. Nice to see you as well. We have a lot of people joining in on the live chat. As I mentioned a few moments ago, it is interesting how certain English words can be used in different ways. For example, sometimes you might find certain things that we see in our everyday lives used as phrasal verbs. For example, here on the screen now you can see musical instruments as phrasal verbs. It is possible to sometimes use things that exist as phrasal verbs. For example, you can use the word trumpet as a phrasal verb. Trumpet. You can trumpet something, you can make it known, you can rouse people with an idea to get them motivated, to trumpet a thought or an idea. So quite often we will use trumpet to express the action of rousing people or leading people to do something. You trumpet something. You are sounding that particular thing. You are telling people about something whilst at the same time encouraging them as well to sound something, to make something known to lots of people. So, trumpet a thought or an idea, rouse people or lead people to do something through proclamation. So when we talk about proclamation, it is normally something done in the form of an announcement, something you are putting forward, maybe something that you feel should be done. A type of proclamation. You trumpet something. We are using it as a phrasal verb. You say it loudly and widely for all to hear. So in that sense, we are using the word trumpet as a phrasal verb. Here's another one. Dum, 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 dum. Drum. We can use the word drum as a phrasal verb. We can say drum up support, to drum up something, to encourage or promote, lead others to do something through promotions, something you are trying to encourage people to do, to drum up support for a new project. You are trying to get people excited by this thing. You drum up. You want to encourage people by announcing it widely to other people. Very similar to the previous phrasal verb when you think about it. Very similar. Finally, also, we can have the word sound as well as a verb. To activate something, to make something work or happen. You sound the warning. You sound the alarm. You sound the call. So it is something you are activating. To activate something is to sound that thing as a verb. That is how we are using it. It is interesting to note that there are many other phrasal verbs that use common items that you will find around you. And maybe in another lesson we will talk all about that as well. But right now we are preparing ourselves for you know what. You know what is about to happen. I know, you know, we all know. Mr. Steve will be on his way in a few moments from now. Don't go away. Keep it here. This is English Addict. I'm a big boy now. It is English Addict, and yes, we are live right now on YouTube. Are you ready? He is on his way. He is a man who everyone tunes in to hear every Sunday. And he is with us right now, sitting very comfortably. He's wearing a very different shirt today, I have to say. I can't remember the last time I saw that shirt, but we are all going to see it right now. Here he comes then. By the way, we had a problem with Mr. Steve's microphone last week and we didn't realise until I played it back. So today I'm using a different hole for Mr. Steve to talk into. So here we go. It's Mr. Steve, everyone.
Hello, welcome beautiful viewers from across the globe. Here we are once again with you on a Sunday afternoon. We've got nothing better to do. That's not true. I have got lots of other things I could be doing. But this is my number one choice, to be here first.
I should think so.
So what do you think of this shirt? I've had it for about 20 years. I can't remember the last time I wore it. It's very good quality. It's kept well for 20 years. You can't see the collar's a bit yellow because it won't wash off anymore. But nevertheless, I'm hoping that won't show up on the camera.
I have to say, it's quite... it looks like the style might be slightly retro, but... The collar isn't that large, so it definitely isn't something from the 1980s, but it looks pretty good, Steve.
It's the 1990s, I think. I used to wear it. I only used to wear it. I buy these posh shirts for when I'm going on a company conference.
Yes.
And which we have about 3 or 4 a year in sales, and in the evening it's usually smart casual. You don't have to wear a suit, but you still want to look smart, so a shirt like this is perfect. I think lasts many years.
I think it's good. It looks good. I would imagine a lot of people will be giving us one of these today just for Mr. Steve's shirt. I think so. Now, we were talking about something a few moments ago, myself and all of the live chat. We were discussing pressure, the difficulties that might come along in your day-to-day life. And of course, pressure can come in many different shapes and many different forms because... Well, I suppose in your daily life you can have pressure of some sort, especially if you have a family. So maybe you're married and you've got kids. So I would imagine there must be a lot of pressure involved in that all the time. But of course also in your work. So I would imagine this is the first thing you would think of, Steve, when you think of pressure. I would imagine the most pressure that you get in your day-to-day life, besides knowing me, because this can be difficult sometimes, having this around you, as Mr. Steve will definitely say. But what about you, Steve? What puts you under pressure?
It's when I've got a lot of things to do at the same time, because don't we often find that it's very rare that you have nice spaced out time to do one task, complete it, then another one, then another one. Quite often you get many things coming at the same time. But sometimes I find, and somebody else has also alluded to this on the live chat, that sometimes a little bit of pressure, time pressure in particularly, can make you more efficient in what you do. So sometimes if you've got a task to do that might take you half an hour, but you know you've got 3 hours to get it done, then quite often you stretch that out for 3 hours. Whereas if you really had to complete that task in 30 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever it is, suddenly you become more efficient and you feel yourself getting into, you don't want to get to the point obviously when you feel stressed.
No.
And then the symptoms of stress begin to show.
Yes.
Irritability, moodiness, that's, and you want to be in that, as they call it, that flow.
Yes.
That area where you've just got enough adrenaline to motivate you to do the task at an efficient pace. And it's nice when you're feeling like that and you're not, it's just, you're in the flow. Things are all happening.
What gives you pressure? Where does your pressure come from in your day-to-day life?
It's having to spin lots of plates, as they say. Now there's an expression. If you've got to spin lots of plates, like somebody does in the circus, it's a circus act, isn't it, or an act we've seen on the television where there are lots of poles and somebody is spinning plates on all these poles, and they have to keep going around and spinning them to keep them going because otherwise one of them will fall off. We've seen that act, but as a metaphor for that in your life, we might have to take the children to school, get to work on time, come back in the evening, do some housework, or you might have to be constantly doing lots of things. In my job, I've got many different products that I have to sell, and I've got to keep each product going enough. I've got to put enough energy into selling each product so that the sales of one doesn't drop off, keep the other one going.
It's actually about trying to maintain the level of everything that you are doing and keeping it all at a high level. However, and you're right there, Steve, there's another one as well, also involving something that you have to keep in balance, and that's juggling. Sometimes you have to juggle things as well in your life. So you are trying to control lots of things at the same time. Spinning those plates and juggling things, they can both be sources of pressure. But I think, and this is what I mentioned earlier as well, I think sometimes pressure can be a good thing. I have felt a lot of pressure recently. I've given myself much more to do in my day-to-day life. I'm making new lessons. I'm doing this, of course, which takes a lot of time and effort and pressure. And yesterday, of course, we went somewhere to do some filming of a show. And so now I have hours and hours of work that I have to do with that as well. So sometimes pressure can be there, but I think also it is a very good way of motivating you to do things.
That's exactly. It can motivate you. Time pressure can motivate you. If it's something that you want to do or you enjoy doing, if it's something you don't want to do, but then again, if it's something there are always some tasks at work. By the way, my lighting looks awful, people are saying. I'm looking a bit pale. So just to let you know while I'm talking, Mr. Duncan, you might be able to twiddle some knobs and make me look a bit more fresh and alive. So sometimes you want that pressure to help you. If you've got a task that you don't like to do, I like a bit of time pressure. It makes me more efficient. and it enables me to get jobs done, particularly jobs I don't want to do. And don't we always as well tend to put off the jobs, the least likable jobs that we want to do? I know I do that at work. The most difficult thing I have to do is plan for the next day. So I will put that off until the last minute, where I'm going to go, who I'm going to see. And but probably I should do that first, because if you do the difficult jobs first, then anyway, we can talk about this all day.
I've changed Mr. Steve's camera, but now he looks like he's got a bit more colour, maybe too much. It looks like you've been drinking heavily now, but
see, Mr. Duncan.
We will see how that goes. But I do think that it is good to have a little bit of pressure in your day-to-day life. Not too much, because then we have other problems coming in as well. But yes, it is true. You can have some pressure in your life, but it's always best not to have too much pressure at all.
If you don't have enough pressure, you become demotivated.
Yes.
If you don't have enough things to do, I don't like it, you suddenly become inefficient. That's why Mr. Duncan always complains, because I'm always, not complains, but comments that I'm always doing something, because I always want to feel as though I'm achieving something, even if it's minor. I will write everything down that I need to do in the day, even almost down to ludicrous things, like phone sister or something, because I find if I don't write these things down, I just don't tend to do them. Whereas if I've got a list, I've said this before, I cross the list off. Oh, I've got to do that. I've got to do that. I've got to do that. And it just gives me a sense of achievement. Even at the weekends when I'm not working, I like to have a list of jobs, because I just don't do them. You put things off.
Yes.
If you don't, like clean bathroom, for example.
Steve, can I just show you what I did earlier? Because this refers to what you just said. Can you believe it? This particular subject we are talking about was something I actually wrote down earlier. How do you handle pressure? Handle pressure. How do you? So,
how do I handle it?
So, no, Steve, I'm just trying to tell you something here about what I did earlier. So, the notes that you write, I actually wrote a note earlier to talk about this actual subject. So can you see what I've done there? So I sometimes write little notes down. I don't do it as often as Steve, but there, just to prove that I do that sometimes. So just a very quick note. It says, handle pressure. How do you? And that reminded me to talk about this subject a little bit later on. But I think it is good. It is good sometimes to make notes. And that's one of the things I admire about Steve. He's very good with doing that. He writes things down. Do this today. Do this tomorrow. Pay this person. Tell Mr. Duncan to shut up. Even that's on his list.
I even put things down like, clean bathroom, because cleaning is something that very few of us actually enjoy. But it will, if I don't write it down every now and then, because you've got to clean your bathroom fairly regularly, hoover. If no one's coming to visit us, then these jobs, I just don't do them, and nor does Mr. Duncan. So it's quite nice to have somebody coming round to visit, because it gives you then that impetus. There's a good word, impetus.
Impetus is motivation.
Motivation, energy to do something. And then you feel so much better when the house is clean and tidy, and when people come round, the last thing you want when people come round to visit you is for your house to be dirty. Well, for me, some people wouldn't care.
No.
And we know people that we go round sometimes to visit, and they just obviously haven't bothered to make any effort, which I actually, in a way, envy, because they're not worrying about what other people think of them.
But can I just say, we do have a good excuse. Mr. Steve and myself, we have a very good excuse for sometimes allowing the house to become untidy. We are men. If there are any ladies watching at the moment, you know that men are not the most tidiest of creatures, and so I suppose we have a good excuse. So if anyone ever criticises me for not vacuuming the carpet, or maybe leaving my wrappers from my biscuits on the floor, I have an excuse. I'm a man, and that's it. You see, that's what we do. Men can be quite...
Are we men, though? Do you think we're men?
Well, we are, Steve.
Well, we're male.
We're men. Well, okay. Are you really going to do this now?
No, I meant in terms of,
Steve.
the characteristics of a man.
Yes. Well, that's one of the characteristics of a man.
In that case, we must be men.
That's it. We have the dust on the carpet to prove it. Talking of jobs, by the way, Steve, last Wednesday I was talking all about a subject that is one I've spoken about before, doing things that appear to be a waste of time, things that may be pointless to do, but you still have to do them. So I'm giving Mr. Steve a chance to actually do this right now. Mr. Steve's pointless tasks.
You want me to talk about it now?
Well, it's on the screen, Steve.
Oh, right, okay.
Things that Steve dislikes doing or he thinks are pointless. So I think you've almost said this already. I think cleaning the house, cleaning things, is quite a pointless exercise, because as soon as you clean something, it becomes dirty again. And I was talking last week about windows outside the house. You clean your windows, and then within a couple of days, after some rain or a bit of dust blowing around, or maybe the birds, because you know what the birds like to do, Steve, they like to do their little poops on the window. So I would say that cleaning the windows outside is pointless, but I have a feeling that you might have a few as well, Steve.
Yes, and please tell us in the live chat tasks which you think are pointless but you have to do anyway, or tasks that you dislike doing. I don't like cleaning my teeth. I find it boring. You have to do it twice a day. I wonder if you were to add up the amount of time you spent cleaning your teeth over a lifetime. That's 6 minutes a day, 52 weeks a year, times, say, 80 years. Somebody with a calculator can work that out for us. Obviously, we have to clean our teeth because, well, you don't have to clean your teeth. I know I've got a friend that I don't think ever cleans their teeth.
No.
Because you can see as soon as they open their mouth. If you don't, obviously, your teeth will eventually fall out and you will probably have bad breath.
And you'll have no friends.
And, you certainly won't have any intimate relationships.
Claudia said this earlier because she said that that's one of the biggest pressures of her job. In her actual job, she's a dentist. And she said one of the worst things you have to do is treat someone's teeth when they haven't looked after them. And she says it's just dreadful. So imagine that. Imagine having to put your hands into people's mouths and everything inside is disgusting and dirty and all of their teeth have turned black.
The other thing I don't like doing, but yes, it is. I don't think anybody likes cleaning their teeth, to be honest.
No.
But the other thing that I don't really like doing, but I do it, is cleaning my car. Because the trouble with cleaning a car is you've got to know if it's going to rain. Because if you're doing a lot of miles, like I do, on the road, if you clean your car and then you go out, particularly in the winter, you can go 10 miles up the road and the car's filthy again. So I will only clean my car if I'm pretty much guaranteed there's going to be no rain for 3 or 4 days at least, because at least then it will look nice and clean.
Of course, we live in a country that is well known for having lots of rain. So I know what you mean, Steve. This is because I know you take this very seriously, because Steve will actually check the weather forecast for rain before he cleans his car. He'll go into a lot of detail. Almost, he's got a map on the wall in his office with all of the predictions and all of the forecasts for the rain, just so he will choose the right moment to clean the car.
The other thing I do twice a year is polish my car, because I've always done that. Well, there's a story behind that. I sort of quite like that because it's exercise. Cleaning your car is very good exercise.
Yes.
I know in the UK now, for probably the last 10 or 15 years, we always used to have those car washing machines that you drive through, which are still there.
Yes.
But in the last 10, 15 years, there's been a lot of businesses set up with people where you just drive your car in and they sort of wash it there and then for you.
Well, they do it by they're hand washers.
Hand washers.
So
a lot of businesses have set up doing that, typically from people who have recently come into the country and want to do a job.
But also, so you can have it done automatically or by hand. So it might be a thing that you see as a waste of time, because a couple of days later it will become dirty again. Another thing you don't like doing, Steve, and it's the big one.
Can I just finish what I was saying about the car cleaning?
Oh, okay then.
Because So a lot of people go and have their car hand washed. I don't like to do that because I don't trust how they do it. And I like, but anyway, that's me. So I'm very unusual in that I still wash my car myself. Most people in the UK, I would say now, do not do that. It used to be, when I grew up, almost a tradition that everybody washed their cars on a Sunday or at the weekend. You would see people outside washing their cars. You always saw people doing it. But most people don't wash their car themselves anymore. I still do. One, it's actually quite good exercise. It's a good workout, actually. And polishing your car is a bit more tedious. But I remember years ago, I always used to polish my cars. And then probably 20 years ago, I had this lovely car, beautiful car. And I used to polish it regularly. And then one day, and I go to the point of what they call detailing.
Okay.
I really polish everything. They call it detailing. And I went to see some friends in Birmingham one night, and I just polished it. I spent all weekend polishing it. I parked it outside their house, and I think you were in China at the time.
Okay.
And it was dark. When I came back, somebody had thrown a brick through the window and stole a few things that I'd left in the car. What I didn't notice, because it was dark, is that the next day I noticed there was a huge dent in my driver's door, because when they had obviously attempted with a brick to smash the window the first time, they'd hit the door. And then after that, for about 10 years, I said I'm never polishing a car again, because I was so distraught by the damage they'd caused to my car after that. But anyway, yes,
that was really.
I'm just getting that off my chest.
Yes, it just seemed like it doesn't have anything really to do with pointless jobs, but
anyway, it doesn't.
There's another one, Steve.
What were you going to say was the other pointless job?
Yes, I'm going to now. It's cutting the lawn.
Cutting the lawn, but yes.
No, whoa. Hey, wait a minute. Now, can we just discuss this in detail? You came in the house the other day and you said, I can't cut that grass anymore. I can't do it anymore. It's too much work. I'm going to get somebody else to do it. So, but it is kind of pointless, isn't it, Steve?
Yes, I mean that there again is another tradition that people used to be everyone would be very proud about would be to cut their grass, having it look nice and neat and tidy.
Yeah.
People don't really do that so much now.
Most people haven't got lawns.
Most people have got rid of their lawns.
They remove them and then they put concrete
or block paving.
They put concrete down and so they can park all of their cars. So it is amazing nowadays. Where we used to live in Wolverhampton, every house used to have a lovely little piece of grass outside. But now we went back recently and all of the grass has gone from outside the houses. It's all parking spaces now for their numerous cars.
People want easy maintenance gardens now. They haven't got time to manicure their lawn.
Or they just think it's pointless.
Or they say just, well, in a way, it is just for show, isn't it? Because you don't really, cutting your grass is just for show, really.
Yes, where you have grass outside your house, it looks nice. I have to say, I do like to see grass outside somebody's house or at the back of the house. So there is something quite refreshing about seeing fresh green grass growing.
We've often thought about getting ourselves a sheep.
Yes.
Because then they would do it automatically, which of course is something that people buy now, an automatic lawnmower that whizzes around. Great, it's a thing like this. It whizzes around your garden and just cuts everything and then plugs itself in and charges itself up and then just whizzes around your garden.
Yes, it's a robot.
It's a robot. They're getting quite popular now, a robot grass cutter for your lawn.
So it comes out, it parks in a little space in the garden, and then maybe twice a day it will come out and it will start going around the garden slowly. It will cut the grass, and then afterwards it will go back to where it was, and it will even plug itself back into the electricity to recharge itself. So a lot of people are buying these nowadays. So I'm not sure how it would do it here, because our grass is very weird, because we have long grass, thick grass. Also, some of the garden is on a slope like this. So I think maybe we would come back and find our little robot on its back trying to do this like a turtle.
That also, yes. Can I answer some questions in the live chat?
You can.
Giovanni Revetti, hello there, says, talking of which, in Italy, talking of cleaning windows, we have shutters, and each time it rains we close the shutters. They do in France as well. So how do you manage it in England? How often do you clean them? Well, most people, I think, we have window cleaners that come round, because I can clean the downstairs windows, but I can't clean the upstairs ones without getting on a ladder. Most people, I would say, still have a window cleaner to come round maybe once a month, once every 2 months, once a month normally, and you pay them probably £15 each month to come and clean your windows. That's what most people in the UK do. Most people don't clean their own windows. If you live in a bungalow, you probably do, but most people don't. They get a window cleaner to come round, I would say, or they just don't bother at all.
I like the last one. I like the last part. That just don't bother at all, because the rain will come and wash the windows for you, and then it dries out, and then the windows are clean again. But we do have a lot of people that go around, and these have been around for years and years and years. Even there was a famous music hall singer called George Formby, and he had a very famous song where he sung all about being a window cleaner, although it is rather naughty, the song. It just have some very suggestive things. When I'm cleaning windows, you'll be amazed at the things I see. When I'm cleaning windows, turned out nice again. Nobody knows what I'm talking about.
They might do.
George Formby, look him up. A very talented guy. One of the biggest, for a while, he was one of the biggest stars in movies in the UK. He was a massive, massive star but a rather sad end to his life as well. But yes, I would say that we've covered most of the tasks. Christina makes a very good point. Christina says, why don't we have a robot to clean the carpets? Well, we do, don't we? Those little Roombas.
You can get these robot vacuum cleaners, can't you?
Yes.
They're circular. They can. They will. I don't know how they work. They sort of work their way around chairs and things like that. I know someone that's got one. Whether it's as effective, I suppose if you've got a really big house, it might help you. But I think it would just annoy me to have. They're quite big, so you've got to have some space for them to be there. Our house wouldn't really justify it because we can hoover. I can hoover around the house in about half an hour. So,
yeah.
And we only do it when people come round to stay or at Christmas.
I remember once we went to your sister's and she's got one of those. Now I nearly broke my neck over it because it was there right in front of me, just moving around, and I almost tripped over it. So you have to be careful with them. But of course, there are things they can't do. They can't do the stairs. If you have carpet on your stairs, how is that robot going to do that? You would need a proper robot, a real robot. Hello, I am your stair cleaning robot. I will now go and vacuum your stairs.
Giovanni says that we're similar in some ways in that he used to clean his car every week, inside and out, and also flossing your teeth. Claudia will be very pleased to hear that. Yes, I do that more now. I never used to know about flossing. I didn't really think that it was important till I was probably in my 30s or 40s, something like that. But if you do, you don't get gum infections.
No.
As soon as I started doing that, no more gum infections, or very rarely.
I can tell you now, my dentist, a lovely lady, Lydia, her name is, and she gave me lots of good advice how to keep in between my teeth clean, and she always talks about the back teeth. Apparently they're the worst, and you have little pockets at the back of your mouth where everything can get inside and also in between your teeth. So flossing, or nowadays you can stick something in between your teeth to clean them, interdental cleaning sticks. And there are lots of things now you can use to clean those very hard to reach places. So I think that is one of the things that might seem boring, but I would also say it's a very useful thing because it will prevent your teeth going black and falling out.
And it does stop. I used to get a lot of gum infections. You sort of get swollen gum and it's painful for a while, and it was because I wasn't flossing.
Yeah,
I use these little brushes now.
Yeah.
And push them in. I've got about 3 different ones because you've got different sized gaps in your teeth, and they're brilliant. I don't get any gum infections anymore because of those.
Well, the other week I had one, didn't I? I had a gum infection, and all of my face swelled up.
That was because...
So that's it, you see. I have to take this advice from my dentist. She knows best. So I think there are many things that seem pointless to do, but I think also many of them are useful things or things that can help in some way, especially when we're talking about our health. Another thing we're talking about a little bit later on, Steve, advice. Now, this is another thing that gets Steve really, really upset sometimes when people are giving advice, especially things connected to, for example, health. They're always giving advice, and that advice always seems to change in some way. So sometimes it's difficult to know which advice is the good advice and which advice is the bad advice. So it can be something that is hard to figure out. We're going to have a quick break to allow you to have a break as well. And then we will be back with more English Addict on a Sunday afternoon. I hope you're enjoying today's English Addict, and I hope it is useful to you. I always like to think what we do is in some way useful to you. English Addict is with you, and Mr. Steve is just stretching his legs. So I will let Mr. Steve stretch his legs. Okay, that was not a pretty sight. I'm so glad you couldn't see what Mr. Steve was just doing. He lifted his legs right up. I don't know how he does it.
I can get them right round the back of my neck.
Yeah.
It's quite useful for certain things.
Yes.
I'm joking. I can't, unfortunately.
It's very, very useful for when you're detailing your car, I think. So it's English Addict. If you just joined us, hello, welcome. This is English on the internet, but it's also live as well. It's 6 minutes past 3 o'clock. I hope you are having a good day today. We have lots of people on the live chat. We have Alessandra is here. Hello, Alessandra. Thank you very much for joining us today. I hope you are feeling good as well. Farry Bortz asks about mouthwash. Now, I use mouthwash. So it's something that's quite strong. It has a very strong flavour. And sometimes I like to clean my mouth as well with mouthwash. Mr. Steve doesn't use it because he thinks it's poisonous.
Well,
but I use it not always, but occasionally, especially before I'm about to do something. For example, this. So before I do my live streams, I always use a little bit of mouthwash just to clear my mouth and make it feel more fresh.
Well, you see, that's interesting. And if Claudia's watching, it'd be interesting to see what she says, being a dentist. See, whenever I used to go to the dentist, for ever since a child, when they finished doing whatever they did, drilling or cleaning, they'd give you some mouthwash to wash your mouth out with, antiseptic mouthwash. But for many years now, for 5 or maybe even 6-10 years, all they give you now is water to wash your mouth out with. And I asked once, why don't you get the antiseptic mouthwash anymore? And they said, because research has shown that this isn't good. Because what the mouthwashes do is they kill off not just the bad bacteria in our mouths, but the good bacteria as well. Because not all bacteria apparently is bad, and there is some bacteria that lives. Let's face it, we can't get rid of bacteria. It's there. It's in our guts, working away. And there's good bacteria that's beneficial to us on our skin, in our intestines, and in our mouths. That is killing off bad bacteria or whatever. They're doing something.
So why is mouthwash bad then?
Because it not only kills off the bad bacteria, it kills off the good bacteria as well. And you don't really want to be. Plus also, if they're alcohol based,
which many are not nowadays.
Many are not now, but an alcohol based one could give you mouth cancer
Yeah, okay.
You know, and to me it's so strong. I don't like toothpaste that's very strong mint. I don't like it. I don't think it's good for you. Anyway, but yes, mouthwashes, I do use them sometimes, but I'm not sure the dentists think that they're not good for you. So, expert, please, Claudia, if you're on, what do you think?
Well, what I said just a few seconds ago was I don't do it regularly, just now and again. So for most of the time I do all of the usual things. But this brings us on, believe it or not, Steve, this brings us on very nicely to what we're going to talk about now. Conflicting advice. So you might say what you just said is a kind of conflicting advice, because a certain number of people will say one thing and then another number of people or group will say something that seems to be the opposite. So good and bad advice. Now here's one that I've heard, and I still don't know if it's true or not. So is this good advice or bad advice? I will tell you what it is. In my studio, I have a very powerful computer that has to do all of the things, including bring this live stream to you every week. But I have heard, or I've received advice that seems to be conflicting. So when we say that something is conflicting, it means one thing seems to go against the other. They don't seem as if they are right, or they're not right together. What I'm often advised to do is to keep my computer on all the time. Never turn it off. Never restart it unless you have to. So that's the advice I've received over the years. And recently I've started doing that. I've started leaving my computer on all the time for about the last month to see what would happen. And I found that my computer works much better. Isn't that strange? So from my point of view, I would say that might be good advice, but I would also imagine that there will be people who do leave their computer on, Steve, and they find that there are always problems. So sometimes advice might be good for one person, but not for another person. So that's the reason why these days I often leave my computer running all the time. So even when I go to bed, it's still on, just purring away.
Well, have we any computer experts watching? You see, for me, I find that quite uncomfortable because I don't like to leave any electrical devices on when I leave the house or when I'm in bed. My mother was the same. Well, I don't go to the extremes. My mother used to unplug everything because she came from a time when electricity was less reliable and things used to catch fire a lot more. They don't tend to now. Maybe battery chargers do. I don't know. Charging up batteries might be risky. But for me, you see, I feel uncomfortable with Mr. Duncan leaving his computer on because one, it's using electricity.
But it doesn't use it. It is just literally a very small amount of electricity.
But I always think, well, what if it did go wrong?
Yes.
And we were out or asleep? It might catch fire.
Yeah. Can I just say, computers do not catch fire.
Well, televisions left on standby can catch fire. Again, as my sister discovered.
Yes. Oh, I know, but there will always be... Well, this is kind of what this is about, you see. So sometimes advice that is given might help a number of people, but then it might also cause problems for other people. And that's very strange. So but this is the one, you see, the one that I often hear people say, "Oh, do you turn your computer off at night?" And I say, "Yes." Oh no, Oh no, don't turn it off. You should leave it on, and then during the night, if there are updates and things, all of those things will go through at night, and your computer will always run much smoother. And it is true. Since I started doing that, Steve, my computer does run better, including this program, the program that is running this live stream.
Interesting.
It has become much more reliable.
Well, I've got a laptop. I don't have a desktop. I've got a laptop. And I've been complaining to you, haven't I, Mr. Duncan, that for some time now, and it's not running very well. And I always switch it off at night, and I'm finding it's not running very well. When I switch it on now, it used to be very quick, and I'm finding it's very glitchy now. Sometimes I can't open web pages. It seems to take a long time, and it could be doing these updates, I don't know. But I just feel because it gets hot. Anything that gets hot to me, because the computer gets hot, doesn't it?
We're not. Anyways, can I just? I don't like interrupting, Mr. Steve, but we have to keep an eye on the time. But what I'm saying is the advice that's given. So not whether or not the computer will work or not, but advice that's given. But also, I think that the computer Mr. Steve bought was a little bit rubbish as well. So maybe
Olga doesn't switch her computer off, but she puts it into hibernate regime. Is that what yours is going into, hibernation?
It is not. No, it stays on. It runs, but of course, as everything cools down in the computer, it's not doing anything. It just goes to a gentle sort of pace of processing. So not much is happening. It's a bit like when we close our eyes sometimes and meditate. Think of your computer meditating. That's what it does at night when I leave it on. But of course, lots of little updates and things can come and go as well in all of the programs. So then everything will be synchronized and it will run perfectly. So from my point of view, but that advice, Steve, might be awful. It might be the worst advice ever.
Yes.
Isn't it strange?
Do we have a computer expert? Tejas Mahetra says if you have a Mac computer, then it's better to keep it on standby at least, rather than to switch it all off, straight off. So what do companies do? Do they switch their computers off at night?
Well, if they did, we would have no internet at night.
Well, yes, yes. So here we go.
Most companies will leave their computers running. In fact, if you go past offices, or if you look into an office, you will often see the computer in the corner, and they might even leave the monitor on, and sometimes you can see the screensaver in the darkness going around and around. and so I think it is common for computers to be left on in big businesses as well. Certainly if you have a lot of computers together in something called a mainframe, they're normally left on, or maybe they will be temporarily closed down and then restarted, or another computer will come and take its place whilst that one is being serviced. But anyway, there are other things as well. Steve, now health issues. When we talk about health,
health. We've got somebody on the live stream here who's put a health one on. Chihiro. Is that how I pronounce your name? Here's one. And often you get conflicting advice, don't you, about things for which it's not possible to do any definitive research.
Yes.
There are certain things which we know. If there's no conflict about some advice, then it means that somebody's done some clinical studies and have come up with some results. Particularly when it comes to health advice, and here's a common one: should you drink 2 litres of water a day? This comes up all the time.
Yeah.
It's a regular one. Some people say 5 litres. You should always drink 5 litres of water a day.
I don't think 5 litres is a good idea. I think 5 litres will kill you, Steve.
Well, not all at once. So we're not suggesting you have it all at once.
No.
But spread out during the day.
So over 24 hours from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed, you're steadily consuming water, taking some liquid in to your body.
We have discussed this before.
Yeah.
And you do see a lot of people constantly swigging water. If you swig water, it means you're sort of drinking water. Swig.
Quickly.
I'll take a swig of water.
Yeah. Well, swig means to drink quickly.
A quick drink. And you do see people with these sort of giant... I see them at meetings a lot. People are work meetings. They've always got... It's almost like it's the equivalent of a cigarette, I think. It's comforting in a way to have a bottle of water, and they're constantly drinking from it, particularly if they've had a night on the booze.
Well, yes. Hydrating is the big thing now. It's become the most trendy thing to walk around with a giant bottle. It's sort of, sometimes it's strapped to your waist, or sometimes you just carry it, or it's sticking out the top of your bag. And I think this is something that a lot of people have been led into because of that particular type of advice. Drink lots of water, some people say. Others say you don't need to drink lots of water.
But it depends what you're doing. I mean, if you're doing a lot of exercise, it's a hot day, for example, then maybe obviously you will need to drink more then. The advice I was given years ago was, in order to work out whether you're drinking enough water, is the colour of your urine.
Yes.
We've said this before. It should be just a very, very pale yellow. And if that is what it is, then you're probably drinking enough. I mean, winter's coming up now, and we won't need to drink as much water because you're not sweating. So you wouldn't all year round drink a fixed amount of water. That does not make common sense.
No.
To say, drink 2 litres of water a day. It might be applicable in the summer, but in the winter, you're just going to be constantly going to the toilet.
So what I'm trying to do here is look at both sides, whereas there would be people who say that you should. And so their advice would be you should constantly drink a certain amount of water. And others say, I can get... Well, actually, I can speak from my own personal experience. I don't drink a lot of water during the day. I have a little bit in the morning, in the afternoon. I always have some here next to me when I'm presenting my live streams, just in case my little throat decides to go dry. So there is another one. And I suppose certain types of things that we eat and drink as well.
So thanks for that, Chihiro, because that's a very common one that comes up. If you drink too much water, you could be straining your kidneys, says Christine. Well, that's true, because the kidneys have to get rid of the water, so that means they're working. Plus, to get rid of water, your body has to get rid of some electrolytes in order for that to work. So you could end up losing vital electrolytes in your body if you drink too much water.
The electrolyte, by the way, let me just explain quickly. That's how all of the nerves and all of the electricity goes around your body. So once you, I'm putting it simply, Steve.
So like sodium and potassium, I think, are the main ones.
Anyway,
calcium, but you can lose minerals. Yes, let's put it that way.
So important things that you need in your body. Water is a very good way of getting that in there. But too much of anything is bad for you, isn't it?
Yes, Lewis makes a good point. Going back to computers, I like this, Lewis. My Windows 10 has started to slow down more and more. It's 3 years old. That's about the same age as because I bought a laptop about 3 years ago. I think that Microsoft wants me to download Windows 11. Do you know, I think you're right. I think this is what it is. Microsoft want you to have Windows 11, and if you've kept Windows 10, which I have not upgraded. I think it's not working as well as it used to. A good point.
I can give you a couple of bits of my advice from my point of view is don't update to Windows 11 unless you're sure all of the programs you're running have been altered or they've been updated, because a lot of programs will still not run on Windows 11. But I think your problem, Steve, is just I think the whole computer just needs just completely clearing and then everything rebooting from scratch, everything reinstalled, and I think it will perform a lot better. I think personally, Steve clicks on just anything on the internet.
I don't.
So I think it's probably full of viruses. That's what I think anyway.
Hello, Martin. Martin's watching us. And Lewis has said hello. Lewis always recognises people that have been on before and says hello. Thank you, Lewis. Martin is a friend of ours who we've known for many years, and we do lots of shows together. We're in choirs together, and occasionally, if he's not working, he will come on and see us on a Sunday.
I have to say, his English is improving a lot as well. So
your English is getting a lot better, Martin.
I can almost understand what he's saying now.
Yeah, exactly. When we meet up on a Monday at choir, yes. I can understand practically everything you say now.
Almost everything, without having to draw pictures or mime.
Emilio Lopez. Hello, Emilio. Lots of new people watching us these days, and it's nice to have you on and nice for you to make comments. Please do make comments and please make yourself known. Don't be shy. Everyone is very friendly on here, as has just been demonstrated by Lewis saying hello to Marty. Excellent conversation, says Emilio.
Yes.
Everyone's displaying a high level of English. Thank you very much.
That's
and we welcome you here.
Okay, Steve, I've got to move on because we've only got 30 minutes.
I thought I was saying something important, but never mind.
It is important, Steve.
I'm joking.
As William Shakespeare once said, brevity is the soul of wit.
I don't understand that word brevity. I don't adhere to its meaning.
It's basically keep it short.
By the way, Martin, I'll tell you about a show we went to see last night.
Well, how about you do that when you're together?
Yeah, I know.
Not on my live stream. English Addict is with you on a Sunday. It's so good to have your company. We're going to look at some words that begin with the letters F and L. So there must be a lot of words that begin with F-L. But these are all interesting words. They're all short words. However, they are also interesting words as well. So we are going to have a look at that as well.
Clean words, please.
They are clean.
No, because people will suggest words.
Oh yes,
on the live stream.
Fortunately, there are not many swear words. There are not many rude words that begin with FL.
Sure that we can think of a few.
I can't think of any. What about flap? Is that rude?
Well, it could be, depending on...
There we go then. I've just found one.
Oh, there we go. People are already going on the live stream with the flags of the world. Yes, FL. Whatever you've prepared, Mr. Duncan, is now going to be pretty pointless because we're going to get every word beginning with FL suggested on the live stream.
Yeah.
But it's good to know you're watching and paying attention.
But the difference is mine will be super duper. There will be super duper words.
It will look visually, it will look wonderful.
I think so. They will be amazing. So let's not waste any more time and we will get straight down to it. So these are words that begin with the letters F, L, and I just something different because we rarely look at words individually. We often talk about things, subjects or topics. So I thought today something a little bit different to make right. The spice of life a little bit more interesting. So here we go. Words beginning with FL. First of all, Mr. Steve. This is a good one. This is what Mr. Steve likes to do sometimes when he goes out with his new fashion. He likes to go out in the street. Even though all of the local people are looking in disgust, they're saying, "Oh, look at that guy. What's he wearing? How could he wear such crazy clothing?" They might say that Mr. Steve likes to flaunt. Flaunt. There is a good word as a verb.
A good word for you to choose, because so far that one hasn't come up in the live stream. There's some very good... words beginning with F and L. So not having F and L in them.
No.
The first two words are F and L.
Well, you'll get the idea as we go along. Flaunt. To exhibit. To exhibit or show something without fear of the consequences. To be defiantly visible. I often think that when I go outside and I walk amongst humanity, I think sometimes I have to flaunt myself. I have to put myself there on show for all to see, even to those who dislike me.
A common word, a phrase that would be used in it is to describe in a negative way somebody who flaunts their wealth. So if you are a wealthy person financially and you drive around in a flashy car, maybe a Ferrari.
When we say flashy, we mean something that looks expensive.
Expensive, bright colour, obviously expensive. Maybe a Bentley.
Okay.
Rolls Royce. Anything very expensive, and then you get out of the car and you're dripping with gold and diamond jewellery. You go into a shop and you've got an expensive watch on. You can always tell people who are wearing expensive things. But if you've got lots of rings, gold rings, maybe a very expensive watch, people might say to you that you're flaunting your wealth.
Yes. So we have some examples now on the screen.
Showing off.
Steve, some examples. You might flaunt your body. Maybe you like to show your body. Maybe when you go on the beach. Maybe you wear very little clothing. Or maybe you wear nothing. Ooh. You flaunt your body. Now, Mr. Steve just said this. Well done, Mr. Steve. You win today's prize. Flaunt your money. Some people like to show off that they are wealthy. They have lots of money. They like to wear their gold watch and their expensive designer clothing, or they drive around in a Ferrari.
Yes, Olga. It is the same as sort of showing off, isn't it?
It is.
Flaunt.
It is. It can also be seen as a way of protesting as well. You protest against something. You flaunt something because you want to push against. You are being defiant in some way. The last one is a good example of that. You might flaunt your political views. Some people, especially these days, have you noticed how everyone wants to talk about their political views, especially on the internet, because it's a very good way of earning money, apparently.
But the first two, flaunt your body, just means that if you... Well, here we go. Fariborts has used a phrase here which is people. A lot of people will know. If you've got it, flaunt it. I'm sure you may have that coming up, but it's in the live chat. The expression, if you've got it, flaunt it. Some people will say, oh, look at you wearing all those see-through clothes, or if you're wearing those revealing clothes that show off your figure, for example. Or could be you're a very confident person and you're wearing revealing clothes or something that makes your figure look particularly attractive. Somebody might say, oh, look at you showing off. And you might say, well, if you've got it, flaunt it. Meaning, well, why should I hide it away?
Yes, if you have something and other people might appreciate it, then show the world what you have.
Don't hide your assets under a bushel.
Assets.
Don't hide your advantages that you have
You mean
under a bushel. That
the-
used to be a phrase they used to say.
It's actually hide your light.
Don't hide your light under a bushel. In other
Yeah.
words, you can flaunt if you're good at singing. Let people know. Sing. If you're good at acting, if whatever you're good at.
Yes.
Uh,
As long as you're good at it.
As long as you're good at it, some people, but you've got to have a certain personality to be able to do that. Confident personality.
Okay.
Entertainers
Hmm.
flaunt their talents.
I'm not.
Because-
You know what? I'm going to disagree with you there. I don't think you do flaunt your talents, because that means you're pushing against someone who says that you are not entertaining.
No, the
Sure
point I
about
was
that.
making is that if you are trying to make your
And
living
yes,
in the
I've got
world
it
of entertainment, say
That's
as a
it.
singer, actor, or something,
yes.
then it's no good you hiding your talents away. You've got to flaunt your talents for people to see it,
Yes.
like people do on YouTube channels. You see people flaunting themselves.
Oh, can I just ask? Oh, are we flaunting out there? Do you think I'm flaunting? I quite like the idea of doing that. Anyway, we've only got another 18 of these to do, Steve.
And there's another 100 on the live chat we've got to discuss as well.
Yeah, here we go, Steve. Here's another one. Flout.
Flout.
So these are words that can be used in very expressive ways, and they also happen to be really, really good words as well. Flout as a verb. To treat with disdain, or to scorn or contempt. To scoff at or mock. So to flout is to show disrespect. You are doing something that is pushing against maybe the rules of society, maybe the law. You are not showing enough respect in that particular situation. An action of disregard. You might flout the rules. Oh, a person who likes to flout the rules is a person who does not follow the rules. They do not obey the law.
Yes, they might not. They might not follow social customs. It probably isn't going to be. Yes, it's going to be what sort of rules might people flout. Just trying to think of an example.
Parking.
There we go. There's a good one. Just drop your car off anywhere and leave it. Double yellow lines. Somebody might say, "Look at you flouting the rules." They're probably not serious ones. We're not. You might not wear your seatbelt in the car. All my examples are car related. Somebody that doesn't follow conventions, doesn't follow rules, because there are lots of rules which we follow in everyday life, social rules which we all sort of grow up with, and we know we're not supposed to break them. You're not breaking the law with them, but there are certain, like queuing. There's a good one.
Yeah.
British people like to queue anywhere and everywhere. We're known for that. But if somebody decides they're not going to queue for a bus, they're just going to go to the front, they would annoy everyone, and someone would say, look at him flouting the rules.
So maybe that's that. In that situation, it's some sort of social rule that everyone observes, and you are pushing against it. You are flouting it.
Ignoring it, because you're probably, as Olga says, is it the same as ignoring?
You're showing disregard.
Disrespect. You're probably quite an arrogant person who thinks that they're just going to do what they like.
Can I just say, disregard is ignore. If you disregard something, it means you are pushing it aside, you are ignoring it, you are pretending it isn't even there. Flout the law. Maybe if you go into a shop and you steal things, you put the thing in your pocket and you don't pay for it, and then you run out. You might be flouting the law.
Yes, Ted Jass. Defy would be another. You're defying the rules. flouting. Yes, that would be another synonym. Definitely. And you're very good. You've chosen a couple of very good words there, Mr. Duncan, because they're two words that haven't come up in the live chat. We've got a lot of words in the live chat beginning with FL, and you've managed to pick two that people hadn't maybe necessarily heard of.
Yes, that's it. That's why I'm here. Here's another one, Steve. Oh, this is a good one. Flail. Again, I would say this word has a lot of expression going on. Flail. Most verbs often are very expressive because they are showing an action, quite often a very dramatic action, something that is very dramatic. Flail. To move randomly and wildly, to move uncontrollably. Flail. So this is being used as a verb. It is the actual movement and action. So there might be many situations where a person might find themselves flailing. For example, a drowning person, I'm keeping it happy today, a drowning person might flail their arms and legs in panic because they're trying not to drown, so they flail. He's flailing. Look at him. I'm not sure. Is he waving or drowning? I'm not quite sure.
It can be. Sometimes people in arguments get very expressive with their hands and they start shouting and they're flailing their arms around.
Yeah.
And somebody might say, "Will you stop flailing your arms around?" It just means that your arms are just going everywhere because you're either angry, usually because you're angry about something.
Yes.
So that's a word I think a lot of people won't have heard of.
It is basically movement that has no control. It is just anything. Anything can flail. Here's another meaning. To make desperate or unproductive attempts to respond to a challenging problem. You might think a lot of politics, a lot of politicians, or a lot of people in government will often flail.
Oh, right, yes.
They will try to bring in new things or new ideas, but they are completely unproductive, or they might try very hard to make positive changes, but they don't really know what the result will be. So we can say that they flail. They are trying many different things. They might work, they might not, although there is a very good chance that they won't work. So there, another useful...
So maybe you're panicking and you're doing something, you're trying to resolve a problem in some way, you don't know how to, so you just randomly do things in the hope that it will work. And you can say, whatever I do, it's not working, I'm flailing.
Yes.
Yes, that is a very different meaning. It's a bit like when you're randomly, when your arms are flailing about.
That's it.
You could be, you're trying to solve a problem or an issue. You don't know how to, and you're just sort of grabbing at any solution to try and solve it, in the hope that one of those will work. Yes, in effect, it means you're failing, really.
Well, yes. Well, you're just trying anything.
You're trying anything, and it may not. It probably isn't going to work.
Yes.
In a way, you're probably panicking.
So here's another one, Steve. We've got to get through these. To flail, to beat, or strike, or attack, as if using a flail. So flail is also a noun. It is a type of tool. I think it's like a stick. So when you're beating the wheat or the corn in the field, you're trying to get all of the grain or the seeds from something. So you use this particular item. But to flail is to beat or strike or attack repeatedly as if you are using one of those tools. So you might just be using an old stick or a broom. That's what Mr. Steve often does with me. He chases me around the garden with a broom, trying to flail me. So there are other uses as well.
So like if you were whipped, cat o' nine tails, a tool used to thresh or to whip you.
Also, as an adjective, we can use flail. In medical terms, a joint or part of the body with too much movement due to injury or disease. So maybe part of your body is doing something very strange. Maybe your shoulder is down there because of injury, or maybe some sort of problem with the body. Maybe you're losing too much weight. So something in your body can appear to have some abnormal movement that it shouldn't have. And we describe it as a flail. There appears to be a flail in his shoulder.
Christina just asked, what does thresh mean? Fariborts has replied with, it's a separation process. That's right. So a threshing machine in agriculture, like for example with wheat, if you're harvesting wheat, a threshing machine separates the seeds from the rest of the plant. Yes, it separates something.
Yes. We can also just say striking something or hitting something. But
yes, or beating, says Fariborch, yes.
That's it. Here's another one, Steve.
Thresh or thrash.
This is something I find myself doing quite often. This is another verb, flounder. Oh, yes. Yes, in life sometimes we can flounder quite often. To struggle with stumbling or plunging movements, usually followed by the words about, along, on, or through. So that means you can flounder by, flounder about, flounder along, flounder on, or flounder through. So we are showing how something is being done. To struggle with stumbling or plunging movements.
Yes, it's quite often used. If you've got to complete a task, say somebody's given you a project at work, haven't had that one for a while, and you really don't know what to do with it, you're not making any progress with it, you might say, I don't know what to do with this project. I've really floundered. I'm floundering. It means you're really not making any progress at all with it. So quite often you would use that commonly. There is a fish in the sea.
We'll coming to that in a second.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
So flounder as a verb can be to struggle clumsily. Clumsy. If you do something clumsily, it means you are doing it without care or without any actual control. You can't control what you are doing. You are doing it clumsily. To struggle clumsily. To move without having control or to move helplessly is flounder.
You're not making progress. It could be in a sporting event. You're not really doing very well at it, and somebody might say, what are they doing, floundering about on the field there? It means you're just not good, you're not making any progress. You're not doing very well at what it is you're supposed to be doing.
Yes.
Whatever that task is, it could be in sport, it could be in your work, and somebody might just say, and if you floundered, it means it just means you're not making good progress.
You move helplessly. You have absolutely no control. Also, we can have phrases, a ship floundering on the rocks. So the ship, maybe there is a very rough sea and the ship is floundering. Its movement is very erratic. It can't control its movement, or the people on the ship cannot steer the ship away.
Yes, the ship has floundered.
Floundering.
It means that it's at risk of maybe hitting rocks or sinking. If a ship's engine cuts out, it will flounder at sea. It means it's got no control suddenly.
Or a child floundering in the water. So
floundering and threshing. Thrashing, rather.
Yes. So they are trying to control something, but it's impossible. You have lost control. The ship is now floundering on the rocks. Here's another one. As a noun, and this is the one that Steve mentioned a few seconds ago, a European marine flatfish used for food. I can safely say I have never ever eaten a flatfish. I would imagine. I don't know. There probably isn't much to. You could probably have them between a piece of bread. You could have 2 pieces of bread, and then you could put the flatfish in between, and then just take a big bite out of it. So a European marine flatfish. We had a good catch. A flounder. Flounder. So it is also as a noun. It is a type of fish. I've never seen a flatfish. Have you seen one, Steve?
I haven't. Maybe it's movement. Maybe it's called a flounder. I don't know, because maybe its movement doesn't look as though it's going in any particular direction. Does Christina says flounder? Does it mean make mistakes?
Yes, as the action,
could do.
You just lose control. You can't find the right solution to something.
Yeah.
So if you can't find the right solution, we can say that you are just floundering. You can't get that thing right. So yes, no, that's good. Flourish.
Can you help me? You could go to
Steve.
ask somebody for help. Can you help me with this, please? I'm floundering.
Yeah.
You're admitting that you're not making any progress. You've probably tried lots of things and they haven't worked out, and you want some help to get some progress.
Yes. Here's another one, Steve. Oh, this is just for Mr. Steve. If there is one thing that Mr. Steve does, it is flourish.
Flourish.
To be in a vigorous state, to thrive, a period in which art flourished would be a good example. So a period where something is growing without slowing down, or maybe something that continues without being interrupted in any way. To flourish, to be in a vigorous state, healthy, strong.
Yes.
Nothing will stop you.
The business is flourishing. It means it's doing very well. It's healthy. It's in a positive state. Yeah. So there's one example you could use.
Here's another one. To survive and grow without hindrance. Ooh, yes. So something is growing, something is surviving without being interrupted, without hindrance. When we talk about hindrance, it is anything that gets in the way, anything that comes along to stop you from moving forwards. We can describe it as a hindrance. Nothing is stopping that thing as it grows.
It's a positive word. The garden is flourishing.
Yes.
It means everything is growing well. That plant is flourishing. My career is flourishing.
Yes.
Just means things are going well, and there's no negatives. It's a positive word. Flourish.
My YouTube channel. Moving on. To survive and grow without hindrance. To make dramatic, sweeping gestures. You flourish your coat as you remove it. To do something in a dramatic way. You flourish a certain thing. You flourish your coat. You flourish your hat.
Often,
or maybe you just flourish your hands.
Often used to describe a movement on the stage by an actor. They moved with a flourish. It means that you do something obvious. Your movement, if you were going to take off a coat, you would do it in a dramatic way. Take off your hat. Everyone, people would take notice because it's really an over-exaggeration of something. The way you move, the way you take off some clothes, any action that you do that is done with a kind of dramatic sort of flair to it is a flourish.
Yes. Well, that is the noun form.
Yes.
To add extra detail to something. So these are verbs, first of all, we're looking at. So to do something, you are adding extra detail to something. For example, you might flourish a dull vase with colour. So you are actually doing that thing. Something that doesn't look very interesting or attractive. You might flourish that thing to give it a little bit more sparkle, a little bit more impact, for example. So the word flourish in that sense is being used as a verb. We can also use it as a noun, as Mr. Steve did a few seconds ago. An ostentatious, I love that word by the way, ostentatious show of movement, a dramatic appearance or action. You do something with a flourish, like that. So in that sense, especially on the stage, as Mr. Steve said, when you are recreating something in a dramatic way, you will often flourish or use a certain amount of flourish.
Giovanni says, like the old films from the 30s and 40s and silent films, often to get the audience to notice something, the movements were over-exaggerated.
Yes.
And done with a flourish. And some people will do this when they... it's not just on the stage. Some people... it's not a word that is commonly used these days. For that reason, I would say probably the commonest use of the word flourish would be to say the garden is flourishing, that my career is flourishing.
That's it.
But yes, certainly panache, says Fariborch. Yes, that you could use that as a synonym.
Panache is normally, it's a little more complicated than simply flourish. So the panache might be the way in which you do it, the style or the movement, a little bit of sophistication maybe.
Very similar though.
The character, the way you're doing something.
Flourish is normally for just sort of movements, isn't it, or things you do. Whereas panache could be a flourish is a fast, quick, is over quite quickly, isn't it?
Yes.
That ostentatious show of movement, dramatic movement, it's a short process. You take off your hat with a flourish.
That's it.
Whereas doing something with panache, it could be that, but that's usually something that's going to take a longer period of time.
You have style, you have sophistication. It is the manner in which you carry yourself and do things. You have panache.
If you like to do things with panache, it's something other than a quick, fast movement. It's a bit more involved.
We have the final one now. Now this is one Mr. Steve does quite often. He did it yesterday, in fact, with me. The word is flounce. Oh yes, this is a
juice. Somebody that was on the live stream.
Yes,
on the live chat.
To move in an angry way, normally whilst leaving or walking away. Flounce out of the room. You walk away. You go away. You are showing that you are irritated, but also you are doing something at the same time. The way in which you do it, you flounce out of the room. You flounce away. normally in a bad mood or a bad temper.
Flounce off.
Yes.
They flounced off in a mood.
You're showing your annoyance.
If somebody said something to you and you were annoyed about it, with a group of people, it normally have to be a group of people around, and you sort of walk off in a sort of a dramatic way. You flounce off. It's like you've been snubbed. You're sort of really annoyed that somebody said something to you, and you want to get yourself out of there, but you want to show everybody else that you're annoyed. Oh,
yes.
You've annoyed me. Oh,
Yeah.
oh. It's a bit of a thing a child might do. It's sort of behaviour that an adult wouldn't normally display unless they were a bit immature, maybe.
But they do. Adults do it more than kids.
Yeah.
I think quite often adults behave like children. They really do. And flounce is something a lot of people do.
It's not really defy. Tejas has said, is it the same as defy?
No, it just means to in the verb sense, you are leaving in a temper. You are leaving with temper.
Although you might be showing defiance in a way because you're refusing to engage with whatever has upset you. You've just decided, no, you're going to go, and you're annoyed. Probably it could be that you can't defend yourself, or you can't think of the words to defend yourself, and you're just annoyed and you leave.
Something
so
like
it
that.
is displaying maybe a kind of defiance.
Yes.
But
it is an outward sign that you are annoyed by something and you want to show everyone that you are. Here we go then. As a noun, flounce, the action of annoyance whilst moving, the instance of behaving in an agitated way. Oh, there's a good word. Agitate. Something that has been disturbed or moved in some way. You are shaking something. You've made that person angry. To be agitated, to be annoyed and angry. You've become agitated.
Here's a common way it's often used. You're having a conversation with somebody and you're maybe pointing out things that other person doesn't want to hear. Maybe annoying bits of their behaviour, or this is how you always behave. You might get into an argument with somebody, with a loved one, and they just walk off, and you might say to them, oh, typical, just flounce off. Don't engage in conversation. Just flounce off. That's what you always do, isn't it? And it just means that instead of having a conversation, an adult conversation, you just decide to go off in what is probably seen as quite a childish way, to flounce off.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, just flounce off. Don't talk to me, will you? Just flounce off. Yes, it just means, yeah.
God, imagine being like that.
Can I mention Nitram's favourite word beginning with FL? And Tejas also mentioned it as well, which is flabbergasted. Flabbergasted. And that's a great word. You're flabbergasted. Somebody's told you something and you're shocked. You're taken aback. You're almost to the point that you can't speak. I can't believe what you just told me. I'm absolutely flabbergasted.
I should be an actor. I would be a brilliant actor. Did you see my acting then? That was worthy of an Oscar. That was, or at least a BAFTA.
I'm flabbergasted. It means you can't think of any words. You don't know how to reply. You're so shocked or taken aback by the news that you've just heard from whatever that person is telling you. Then it could be something upsetting that they've said. It could be, somebody might say, I can't think of an example, but
That's good.
you're flabbergasted. Somebody's told you something, some news about something.
Yeah, it's just something you're shocked by or surprised by.
Shocked and surprised to the point that you astounded. Yes, says Christina.
Yeah.
That you almost cannot think of how to reply to what you've just been told.
Well, here is something now that you won't believe, Steve. We've come to the end of today's live stream. Are you flabbergasted?
No, because it's gone 4 o'clock.
Is your guest flabbered? How flabbered is your guest? It's very flabbered, to be honest. Thank you, Mr. Steve, for joining us today. It's been interesting. We've had a lot of conversation. You can watch this again if you want, with captions later. I will try to get the processing done quickly, but I have to wait for YouTube, you see. I must wait for them to do it for me. So some of the processing has to be done by YouTube. Thank you, Mr. Steve, for joining us. By the way, it is raining at the moment, raining heavily, so the windows are now getting a lovely wash.
And thank you for all your examples of words beginning with FL. Flatter, there's a good one from Palmyra. I can't read them all out. Haven't got too much. Fluent, Arab Abdelal. Now there's a good one, fluent, because that's what you're all trying to do, to become fluent in speaking English.
Yes.
That means that you're speaking English in a very understandable way. The words are all tripping off your tongue. You're constructing very elaborate sentences. You're speaking confidently, and you've got a wide range of different words. You're speaking fluently. Means that you're speaking easily. You've got a lot of knowledge. So that's something you're all trying to do, and you're getting better and better. And if you were to get very good at that, somebody might tell you that you're getting very, very good at it. Oh, your English is wonderful. Aren't you speaking such good English? And you might say, oh, don't flatter me. So there's another word beginning with FL.
I don't know where you were going with that.
Flatter, to flatter somebody.
So to be fluent, yes, to be fluent, by the way, means you just have an understanding of a certain thing. So you can be fluent with a subject, with a thing, with a skill. You have knowledge, you have ability. You are fluent with it. Thank you, Mr. Steve. We are definitely going now. I believe we have some freshly baked hot cross bun loaf in the kitchen.
We certainly do.
And
I baked it this morning, so I will put it in the toaster, put some butter on it, and we will enjoy it with a nice cup of tea.
That sounds
afterwards.
Good. I think that should be my reward for doing this for the past 2 hours and 7 minutes.
Because after this we would be very tired. You could say that we will flag out. Flag. If you're flagging, it means that you're losing energy. Oh, I've been so busy today. I feel as though I'm flagging. I need a strong cup of coffee to pick myself up.
Yes.
Right, that's it. That's enough FL words. See you all next week. I've enjoyed it today. I hope you have too. Please like Mr. Duncan's this live stream so that it gets sent out into the YouTube world.
Please.
And we can get lots of new people joining as we have had today. So thank you for all your comments in the live stream. I've enjoyed reading them out, and see you all again next week.
Catch you later, Mr. Steve. That was Mr. Steve. Every week he is with us. Give us a lovely smile. Okay. Not actually sure what that was. I suppose it was a smile of sorts. Mr. Steve will be with us again next Sunday. Of course, I will be with you next Sunday as well. Lots and lots of new things coming your way. There are new lessons. We have live streams every Wednesday. Wednesday I will be with you as well. And also next Sunday we will be together as well with more Live English Addict. I hope you've enjoyed today's live stream. I will leave you with the view outside the window. It is so gloomy at the moment. The rain is falling and everything is looking rather grey outside. See you later. I hope you've enjoyed this live stream. This is Mr. Duncan, that's me by the way, saying thank you for watching. See you again soon. You can watch this again as many times as you want. It is all free for you. And of course, until the next time we meet right here on YouTube, you know what's coming next. Yes, you do. Stay happy, stay safe. Keep that smile upon your face as you walk amongst the human race. And of course, ta-ta for now. See you on Wednesday.